ready to go. Number 3 Gonzaga takes on their biggest rivals in the West Coast Conference, the Gales of St. Mary's. It's been a terrific year in the WCC, and this is the finale in the regular season in what has been an ultra-competitive league in 2020. They are rocking here inside the Kennel. Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham, great to have you with us. These two teams met just a few weeks ago down in Moraga, and Sean, it was lopsided.
That's being nice, Dave. I mean, it was at one point in time I said Mark Few asserted a bold strategy. Don't miss. They made, 14 out of their first 15 shots. They shot 74% in the first half, took in a big lead, and handed the Gales their worst home loss since 2001. But let's go back a year ago. Up here in Spokane, they took a massive loss and then were able to come back in Las Vegas and find a way to win. They got to control the tempo. They got to really get back in defensive transition and limit their turnovers. Otherwise, that's a recipe of disaster, and you'll get run off the floor.
I think there are a couple good points you made in there, but the overall point is St. Mary's is a much better team and much closer to Gonzaga than that first matchup indicated. We expect a better game, even though Gonzaga's been spectacular on their home floor this year. Jordan Ford, who may well be the West Coast Conference Player of the Year, who's certainly one of the best in this league. Gales have the ball first. Shot clock winding down, and Ford gets the first basket of the game.
Yeah, I think a big point of emphasis for St. Mary's is limit the actual number of three-pointers you take and try to get downhill and drive on the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
That's certainly what Gonzaga did on their first possession. Not necessarily a drive, but getting the ball down low. Their big men just killed St. Mary's in Moraga.
Yeah, size matters, and St. Mary's doesn't have a lot of size underneath. I mean, and when you look at this Gonzaga roster and where they had success in the first meeting, it was getting the ball down low in the paint and just continually getting two-point attempts. A nice start, though, for St. Mary's. Both of their opening possessions doing exactly what they talked about.
Yep. So this time it was Tommy Kuhse, who went through a point in this season. That's a whistle away from the ball. Went through a point, Tommy Kuhse did, where he wasn't playing very much, sort of lost his starting job. He has played much more the last few weeks. I think St. Mary's feels like their best lineups often include him on the floor.
What it does is it allows Jordan Ford to slide over to more of that scoring guard role, and I think that's very important. They need him to score, and sometimes he struggles with trying to decide to run the offense or try to score.
And we welcome those of you who watched a very exciting game in Reno here to Spokane, Washington, where another one of the country's best teams, Gonzaga, at home against their rivals from the West Coast Conference on senior night. And Killian Tilly, one of the Gonzaga seniors, one of the most talented big men in college basketball, gets his first bucket of the game.
Yeah, great high-low entry passes. The second time both their made field goals have come in that high-low, quick dump down underneath.
St. Mary's off to a much better start than in the first matchup, where they just got run off their home floor by Gonzaga. Krebs was wide open, came up short, and the ball's knocked out of bounds off of St. Mary's. Coach Mark Few, 21st year here in Spokane, another regular season West Coast Conference title already clinched, his 8th in a row. It has been a terrific year for a team ranked number 3. Could be poised to move back into that 2 spot in the rankings, with Baylor having already lost today. And Philip Petrusev, who's the leading scorer for Gonzaga, got his shot blocked. Now a whistle and a foul against the Zags. That might be a better defensive play than Randy Bennett's team made down low the entire game when these two teams met just a few weeks ago.
I think BYU might have shown a little bit of a blueprint of trying to be physical and walling up underneath. Remember, it was Kobe Lee that did a fantastic job frustrating Philip Petrusev a week ago.
You and I were there in Provo. It was quite a scene. This is a heck of a scene here in Spokane, as it always is. But we've been here so many times. This crowd is about as amped up as any we've ever witnessed. They had a super emotional senior night ceremony. Wait till we show you parts of that here coming up shortly. Malik Fitz, they got to get a big game out of him. He misses his first shot.
They cannot win this game unless Jordan Ford and Malik Fitz both are above 20 points.
Killian Tilly hits the offensive glass. Krebs goes to the rim and scores.
Yeah, too easy. Killian Tilly stood straight up and allowed Krebs to get lower from Benham.
Kispert couldn't make the layup in transition. Gonzaga gets down the floor so quickly. Pass went off a leg, and that leaves Ford wide open for three. He missed it. He won't miss many of those. Admon Gilder scores.
Gonzaga plays so fast. Randy Bennett, when we talked to him this morning, was saying, look, they might not even run any sets in the first 15 possessions because they won't have to. They're going to try to push it down your throat, and if they can't get it there, then they're going to look for that high-low entry pass.
Ford got himself open with the friendly roll, missed the shot, followed his own miss, and Gonzaga knocked it out of bounds. So that will send us to our first timeout. Look, this game was a blowout when these two teams met a few weeks ago. We expect a much more competitive game here tonight, and in the early going, it's tied 8-8.
Okay, I have to say something. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day, not just on airline purchases. Just think about the miles you can earn on things like gifts.
Should I continue?
No, I want to hear this. Or a rental tux with a handsome cummerbund. Double miles on all of it.
Holy matrimony! That's a lot of miles. Ahem. Anyone else speak now?
One more thing. What's in your wallet?
Welcome to the Road to Champ Week presented by Wendy's, featuring the Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy from the Kennel in Spokane, Washington, where it's senior night. Gonzaga and St. Mary's, the traditional rivals in the West Coast Conference. It's been a great year in the WCC. They went through the senior night ceremonies before the game. Super emotional for a couple different reasons. The three senior players, Admon Gilder, grad transfers, had a great year with Gonzaga. Ryan Woolridge, same situation for him. From North Texas to Gonzaga. Killian Tilly, who's been a stalwart for this program, and really one of the all-time great Zags, beloved here with his mom and dad from France in attendance. And how about the surprise visitor, Rui Hachimura? This would have been his senior night. He left early for the NBA, surprised everybody by showing up, took off his shirt, monster ovation for one of the all-time great Zags. And then we thought, the emotional heartbeat of the senior night ceremony. This is Mac Graff, whose uncle, Dan Munson, was a longtime excellent coach here. Mac has been a student and a team manager. It was several years ago. He broke his back, had a spinal cord injury, really has not walked much since. He wanted to walk onto the court for his senior night. The players, their response to Mac, just a great job. His mom and dad were here. A wonderful way for him to experience senior night here in Spokane. The other three managers were honored as well. It got this place so ramped up for this game, St. Mary's and Gonzaga. There's Mac now back to duty as one of the senior managers for this Gonzaga program. Underneath, and the dunk from Aaron Menzies.
St. Mary's right now is what they're doing is Randy Bennett watched USF play this team twice and take leads to the break. I was like, you know what? Let's steal my old assistant's playbook and let's try to control this game a little bit, be physical, rebound the ball, and attack the paint. And the Gales have done a tremendous job so far.
All of their points, all of their baskets have come in the paint. Really, that's been the case on both sides. Filip Petrusev, who maybe has been a little frustrated at times when teams have tried to be physical with him. That time he took it right to Menzies and gets himself to the line.
Well, and I think that's the question mark, right? I mean, he got frustrated at BYU, and some of it was very deservedly. But at the same time, you got to play through, and you've got to be mentally and physically aware of what you need to do out on the floor and how vital it is for your team that relies on you. You mentioned Jordan Ford being a potential player of the year. Filip Petrusev, to me, and I don't know, I'm giving it away, but he's my pick to be player of the year in this conference, and how they play through him as often as they need to play through him to be successful, I think has been a big part of their success this season.
That was a good tease. I promise we'll reveal all of your WCC postseason award selections as we go along with our show. Krebs for three, hit it.
See, what happens is you start shrinking the defense, right? Then that opens up and you get a better quality of shot from beyond the arc.
Corey Kispert goes to the bucket. Dunks it home, but they're going to call an illegal screen. No basket. Wow.
That lane opened up. Watch, there's the screen. And then you had the other screen underneath. They're going to get Timmy underneath, rooting up the lane. Hooks underneath the arm. That doesn't diminish the dunk, though. He just dunked on a guy that's 7'3".
Yeah, that got this place going even more, even though the basket didn't count. And to be fair, I do think that illegal screen impacted the play. Now an illegal screen called on this end. What do we think about this call?
Are we dissecting all the calls tonight?
We're not going to, I promise.
That's an illegal screen.
It is.
That's an easy call. If the next whistle blows and you ask me my thoughts on it, I might not reply.
Sometimes when you get a whistle that quickly, you sort of assume, oh, makeup call. That was not a makeup call.
No. Yeah, and the first one was a good call.
It was.
This doesn't diminish a great dunk, because it was also a great dunk.
It was. And now it's Jock Perry and Kispert for three.
Big. Think about what he's done last 2 games. He's got 16 and 6 in both of them. Struggled from 3 at BYU. Getting him in rhythm and flow before they get to Vegas next week is huge.
Step back 3 for Jordan Ford. Quiets the crowd momentarily. Yeah, you and I watched Kispert really struggle from the outside. Had some open looks that usually go down in the first conference loss in a long time for these Bulldogs. He has the look of a player who's going to have a big night tonight. Ryan Woolridge steps through, missed the layup, but Timmy with the offensive rebound.
His motor is incredible. Hey, an ESPN 100 recruit and all that stuff's fine out of Texas, but man, he plays hard. He finds himself in the right position so often just based on the want-to factor.
Gonzaga only plays 7 players. This is not a deep team, but all 7 are really good. Krebs elevates and hits his second shot. So Tanner Krebs, the senior from Australia. Perry knocked the ball away, out of bounds off of the Gales.
You talk about Drew Timmy and just his impact on the team. Look how he's in there battling. There's 3 guys in blue jerseys around him. The only one pushing and shoving, trying to make sure they get that board is number 2 in white. He adds something to this front court that they don't have a lot of, and it's that physical toughness.
Gonzaga already has 6 second chance points of their first 15. Kispert catches, drives, and scores. That was a cool little play.
Little side out of bounds execution. A little too easy. I mean, you got to communicate through that screen, and you got to stay with him. Corey Kispert, to me, is the heartbeat of this team, and he just took a charge. Like, he doesn't need to say a lot. Like Drew Timmy, he just plays really hard. And when you put yourself in that position and you take pride in the letters across the front of your jersey, you make plays like that. Those are winning basketball plays.
Another easy call for Vern Harris. We got a super officiating crew here tonight for a rivalry game in the West Coast Conference. Number 3 Gonzaga on senior night. Final game of the regular season of the WCC. Joel Ayayi.
He's struggled a little bit lately.
He has.
They need to get him on track before they head to the NCAA tournament.
Kispert stops, elevates, and hits.
Now, Kispert, if I'm not mistaken, he has scored the last 7 points for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Timmy might have disrupted it with the 1 putback, but he's at least 7 out of the last 9.
Perry down low, spins back and misses. And Ayayi saved it in bounds. So the Zags with a 1-point lead. Ayayi lost the ball.
You cannot have those kind of turnovers. Opens up the door again. St. Mary's is staying with them possession by possession right now, and I think Randy Bennett's got to be thrilled.
Terrible pass from Perry. Ayayi got fouled. Kuzi did not want to allow the layup.
Now, that was essentially an outlet pass to allow the Zags to get out in the open floor. You got to limit your live ball turnovers. We got a great game here. St. Mary's coming on the road, trying to bring the fight to the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that catches things that might look wrong and helps you fix them. Another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. What's in your wallet?
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5 Hour Energy Shots, now in 2 great tropical flavors, and in part by Skittles. Taste the rainbow on a beautiful night in Spokane, Washington. Inside the kennel for this finale. For these two teams, and in the West Coast Conference, St. Mary's and Gonzaga both now will get ready for the WCC tournament. BYU won today. They got tested on the road against a talented Pepperdine team, but BYU won. That locks them in as the number 2 seed, number 1 and 2 in this league. Very important because you get the double bye into the semifinals. The quarterfinals, number 4 UOP, they've had an excellent year, and St. Mary's locked into that 3 spot.
Well, and you think about BYU, undefeated in the month of February. Yoli Childs, another tremendous output today, 38 points. 14 rebounds on the road at Pepperdine. What a way to close out the regular season for Mark Pope and BYU, who currently ranked 17th and probably moving up heading into Las Vegas next week.
That's a good win for BYU. St. Mary's playing defense. They left Tilly open for 3. You cannot do that.
The emotion of senior night, you think about it just for the players. But Dave, you and I were talking about it. Kettle Club, one of the best student sections in the country. And for the seniors that are students here, this is their final home game for their team.
It's senior night for them too.
I think that's why it's a little gassed up tonight.
I think so too.
They're a little bit more fired.
Menzies makes a little move and misses the shot with the left hand, and now he's hurt. Oh man, he made a good move. Missed the shot, and now he's hurting. Grabbing that Achilles area. Yikes.
He came down and he fell to the floor immediately. You hate seeing that.
These guys had tremendous injury problems in his career. He was in some obvious pain. He had a good start to this game. He's making an impact for the Gales, but he's going to go to the bench.
Well, and Randy Bennett needs him out on the floor based on his sheer size. He is able to maintain positioning. I think the biggest key is, again, that positioning between the basket and Petrusev. You can play behind Petrusev, not allow him to catch the ball and easily turn and spin and finish. A smaller lineup on the floor right now, though, with Killian Tilly, the tallest player. Kispert's playing the 4.
Fotu came in for St. Mary's in place of Menzies, who goes to the locker room. Now Tilly posting up against Fitz, and he went to work right away. Missed the shot, tipped the miss, but it was grabbed by Krister Zorix, who's been playing some minutes here of late, and Randy Bennett thinks he can help his team tonight. Forward for 3, in and out. Fotu, offensive rebound, couple of shot fakes, puts it in.
A good offensive rebound, and I like the aggressiveness by Jordan Ford so far. If they're going to go underneath those screens, he needs to attempt those shots. He's going to make more than he will miss.
He's got to take that shot every time. Gilder for 3, way off the mark. Wow, that doesn't happen very often. Number 24 for St. Mary's, Malik Fitz. Quiet start for him in this game. He did not play very well in the first matchup between these two teams. They're obviously going to need a lot from their second leading scorer.
Again, I think he needs to get over 20. If they're going to try to win this game on the road, he's going to have to come up big.
Tough shot runner from Zorix, not even close.
That was a waffle.
Yes, it was, with some whipped cream on top. Woolridge crossover move. What a pass to Tilly.
That's just great awareness. Woolridge, small window to thread that ball through that closed really quickly after it went through there. Tilly had his hands ready to go and was able to finish.
That's a 9-2 run. Ford tries again and hits for 3.
They keep going under. You're giving up either a late contest or a wide open look to one of the best scorers in the country.
Hard to believe that that would be the game plan. I don't think it is for Gonzaga, because you're right. He will just keep killing you if you do that. Ayayi goes baseline and puts it in. Ford, I think he wanted to shoot another one. Fitz, meanwhile, attacks and uses the glass. Nice move, Malik Fitz.
That's a burst right there, like a running back going through a small gap in the offensive line. Speaking of which, the linemen and the linebackers evidently today were at the combine.
We're going to promote that later, I promise. Ford blew right by Tilly. What a move. So St. Mary's responding, and Jordan Ford already has 12. Tilly, they're going to call Fotu with a blocking foul. His second.
This game, by the way, is almost on pace to outscore the Duke-Virginia game in the first half.
They've already outscored the halftime score, haven't they?
Yes. What a great job driving and aggressively attacking. St. Mary's wants to control the pace. They want to limit the possessions, right? But you still have to be opportunistic. When there is that lane, when there is that seam in transition, you have to take it. If you play in the half court versus the length of Gonzaga, when you're smaller, it can be difficult to find good looks.
Jock Perry has to come off the bench now. You got Menzies in the locker room hurt. Fotu with 2 fouls. We'll see if Gonzaga can take advantage of that. Fitz against Tilly, used that crossover move. Here come the Zags. He had it picked clean by Ford. 3, a little bit short.
Well, and he wasn't on balance. You know, he kind of rushed that a little bit. I think he surprised himself that he was open. He had more time where he could have got his feet set. He did not. That's why he came up short.
And then can I editorialize
yes.
as well? With Jock Perry, you cannot commit that foul. You already got one big man on the bench with 2 fouls, another one in the locker room hurt. He had no chance to get that offensive rebound.
Your editorial rights have been revoked for the rest of the afternoon.
Okay, I think I used my one attempt well. 1-on-1 free throws. Gonzaga already in the bonus, and Petrusev earns the second big Monday. NC State, they need a big win. Have a chance to get it at Cameron Indoor against number 7 Duke. Who went down in that high-scoring affair in Charlottesville. That's the first one, 7 Eastern, and then the second game on Monday, Texas Tech and Baylor, both trying to bounce back from a loss. That's at 9 Eastern. The game's on Street Live on ESPN. Tilly gets called for the over-the-back foul after the missed free throw. So his second personal, and Killian Tilly will go to the bench. Fans here love the call.
Is that an editorial as well?
It is. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm over my quota. Fitz threw it out of bounds.
That's on Fitz. You got to jump stop and you've got to deliver a good crisp pass. When you're not, again, you're base and you're moving, you get on ice skates, all of a sudden you make a mistake. Great game so far. Fouls starting to become an issue and depth an issue for St. Mary's underneath.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that catches things that might look wrong and helps you fix them. Another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. What's in your wallet?
A much different kind of game here than the first matchup between these two, where St. Mary's just was run out of its own gym by Gonzaga. 27-27. That's the score. 7:40 left in the first half. Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham here from the Kennel. Gonzaga trying to avoid an upset loss, although this is a rivalry game for them. It wouldn't be that big of an upset. We've already seen number 2 Baylor go down, number 6 Florida State go down, number 7 Duke take a loss today.
Yeah, pretty remarkable when you look at the day. college basketball, in particular, that Florida State game kind of stood out to me. A 1-point loss when they had 16 turnovers, and now all of a sudden you look at Clemson, their home wins are against Duke, Louisville, and Florida State, the three best teams in the ACC.
Pretty good.
It's a wild day. Baylor struggled to defend the three-point line, and Jamie Dixon with a extremely great job coaching. He did TCU that win, and Desmond Bain went 5 of 8 from beyond the arc for 23 points.
Well, they have an 18-1 run late in the second half to basically pull off that upset against number 2 Baylor.
And by the way, not on that list, Ed Cooley's Providence Friars. They beat Villanova at Villanova.
Big time win for Providence, who's totally changed their season in the last 4 weeks.
It's amazing.
St. Mary's with the steal. Jordan Ford back to Tommy Kuhse, who's not much of an outside shooter. He did make a good pass, and then Perry was fouled as he tried to lay it in.
You talk about Ed Cooley and the Friars. I think they've had the best month out of any team in the month of February. And you look at the teams that had a great month, and 6-2, you say, well, how's that the best month? 5 of those wins are against top 25 teams. Ed Cooley's teams always get better in the month of February. And Kentucky wrapped up the SEC today. Their one loss came at Auburn. They avenged that loss this afternoon. Kansas a perfect 9-0. BYU 8-0. UCLA currently playing against Arizona 7-1 with 2 road victories over top 25 teams. All of a sudden they went from being not even a thought of the NCAA tournament to being on the bubble.
See, I learned something right there, and think if it hadn't been a leap year, this would have been March 1st, and you wouldn't have been able to tonight go through your best teams for the month of February.
There's 2 weddings back at the hotel tonight.
There are. February 29th will be 2 couples' anniversary. Interesting day to choose for a wedding. Kind of a digression, but yeah, it's different. Are we going to be wedding crashers after the game tonight?
There's a possibility.
It's possible.
We can neither confirm nor deny reports at this time.
They look like they were getting ready to have fun weddings.
Aren't all weddings fun, Dave?
They are. 29-27, Drew Timme misses the free throw. You know, Gonzaga, they don't have many weaknesses. They're not a great free throw shooting team.
No, but one of the weaknesses that they're kind of being exposed a little bit this game, though, is points in the paint. And they're allowing St. Mary's to get to the rim and deep inside the paint too easily.
Kuhse tries to do it again with another good pass, and Jock Perry finishes.
Gonzaga's chasing right now defensively. They're not dictating what St. Mary's is doing. St. Mary's is dictating their offense and their flow to them. Limited resistance, limited disruption defensively for the Zags.
You are absolutely right, though. I mean, big part of the story is Timme gets knocked to the floor, no whistle. Ford will take it all the way, uses the left hand, and this time he missed. But he got a look inside. That has been, I think, the story of the first half. Ryan Woolridge off to Petrusev for the finish.
That's twice now. Woolridge has been able to find the big, whether it was Tilly the first time, Petrusev that time, by dragging the defense across the lane.
Kuhse kind of had nowhere to go. Shot clock under 10. Elijah Thomas missed it. Woolridge so fast scores.
They run on turnovers, they run on made shots, and they certainly will run on missed shots. And if you're not getting back with a sense of purpose to the defensive end of the floor, they're going to get 2 points.
Timme almost stole it away from Ford. They're going to call a foul, though, against the big man. That was pretty impressive. Not easy to pick that guy's pocket.
And Jordan Ford's sitting there thinking to himself, I got a big on me. I'm going to play around a little bit with the basketball here. And Drew Timme had none of it.
That's Timme's second foul. So Gonzaga hasn't committed a lot of fouls total. Only 5 as a team, but 2 on Tilly, 2 on Timme. And Killian Tilly is back in the game with 2 persons.
And Menzies is back on the bench for St. Mary's.
Hopefully that's a good sign for him. Ford to Perry, who's given the Gales some decent minutes here. He'll draw another foul. He missed the shot, but he got his own miss and draws the personal. Doesn't have to always be pretty.
Good job being active, though, setting that screen, rolling straight to the rim. Reminds us of back in the day when Randy Bennett would have Dellavedova coming off those on-ball screens of Brad Waldo and looking to attack in the paint. They didn't do a lot of this during the first game. I mean, it was an out-of-character game.
Well, our final Super Tuesday of the college basketball season.
Who's on the call there?
I will be in State College for Penn State and Michigan State. That's the first of the doubleheader on ESPN. The Tennessee, Kentucky in the SEC. Wildcats wrapped up the SEC regular season title today in impressive fashion. Both games are streamed live on the app. The last Super Tuesday of the year. Champ week is upon us. A yay for three, no. And a good defensive rebound for Fitz. Well, impressive performance so far from St. Mary's, a team that blew them out in the first meeting. They're up by 1 with 4 minutes to go in the first half. Ford went by Woolridge and then found Perry, who somehow got the shot to go. I don't know how.
That ball slipped out of his hands.
And it went in. Tilly, a great passer from down low. And then he's also, again, as we all know, with a volleyball background, he just back-tapped it to Gilder. Petrusev goes to work. Spins and had the ball knocked away, but they're going to call Ford on the reach-in. That'll take us to a timeout.
There's things of beauty, and then there's this. Just like you drew it up.
Count it!
Okay, I have to say something. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day, not just on airline purchases. Just think about the miles you can earn on things like gifts.
Should I continue?
No, I want to hear this. Or a rental tux with a handsome cummerbund. Double miles on all of it.
Holy matrimony! That's a lot of miles. Anyone else speak now?
One more thing. What's in your wallet?
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's. Try a Big Bacon Classic today. And Heineken 0-0. Now you can. From Spokane, Washington, Gales of St. Mary's on the road against number 3 Gonzaga. A 34-31 lead, 3:20 to go in the first half. Coming up on our E-Trade halftime report, top 10 highlights with so much action across college basketball. Joe Lunardi did come up with an update late in the evening for his bracketology with everything that has happened. Joe believes that firmly the West Coast Conference has 3 teams locked into the NCAA tournament. It'll only be the 3rd time ever that the West Coast Conference has had 3 NCAA tournament teams.
I think they do. I mean, I think part of it for St. Mary's, too. They've been really smart in how they scheduled this year in particular. And when you think about it, the win against Wisconsin, neutral floor, looks better and better with the way that Wisconsin's playing down the stretch.
Yep.
They absolutely destroyed Arizona State. Back in that win looks better and better. I know they just took a loss the other night to UCLA, but it's about who you schedule, who you beat.
You know, they lost to Dayton, but they get a lot of credit, I think, for playing Dayton.
Yep.
Petrusev makes 1 of 2 free throws.
Man, did they look great last night?
They did.
I loved seeing the fact Dick Vitale, Bob Wischusen, Holly Rowe were in the building. They announced that game day's going there next week. It's going to be a madhouse. Well, you and I called the game in Dayton. It's one of the better college basketball arenas in the country.
Right in the middle of football country, Dayton is a basketball crazy city. And it's no accident that that program is having another excellent. They've had a lot of good years in their hoops history at Dayton. Ford with the runner, no good. Jock Perry playing a heck of a first half with the offensive rebound. Krebs back in off the bench, missed the 3.
Yeah, Anthony Grant's done a tremendous job with the Flyers. It's more than Obi Toppin. We talk about Toppin. He's the best pro prospect, but Jalen Crutcher has been sensational all season long, hitting big shots against St. Louis to win the game there. And when Toppin wasn't great against VCU on the road, it was Crutcher that finished with 18. That's a team good enough to win a national championship.
They could. Dayton has a similarity to these Gonzaga Bulldogs. The offensive efficiency has just been off the charts all year.
They're the two best and most efficient offenses in the country. When you look at the one line, according to Joe Lunardi, Duke off that 2-seed line now. They've fallen all the way down to a 3 after the loss today. A stunning loss against Wake Forest the other night when they couldn't close the game out.
St. Mary's shot clock winding down. Does Kuzi know it? I think he does. He got the shot off but missed it.
68% of the points scored in this game have come in the paint.
It's a big number for a team known more for its outside shooting, at least on the St. Mary's side. Gonzaga, very balanced offensively. They can do it in all kinds of ways. Petrusev, the leading scorer for the Zags, started to make his move and then he got fouled.
St. Mary's foul on number 5, Jock Berry, his second personal foul.
You mentioned Jock Berry, and had a little fun obviously going to break when the ball slipped out of his hands and swished through the hoop, but he has been really effective. And that time, though, I was surprised they allowed him to keep the arm bar on him as long as he did, extending out away from his body on Petrusev.
Thomas will come in, and who's coming out? Krebs. One more free throw for Petrusev to try to tie the game. Michigan State with a heck of a road win against Maryland. We saw Maryland still on that 2-seed line. What a great win for the Spartans.
Huge win, which makes that game that you have on Tuesday that much bigger. Could be, as we discussed, and I was there earlier this year, saw them against Ohio State. Crowds have been electric for Pat Chambers' team this year. Lamar Stevens, one of the best two-way players we have in the country.
I mean, I would say they haven't had many bigger games in their hoops history at home than what they'll have on Tuesday night. Thomas, did he throw it away? Yes, he did. Well, it went off the Zag. So he threw it out of bounds, but Gonzaga deflected it. So St. Mary's keeps the ball. Shot clock is at 2. Zorix checks back in.
I want Jordan Ford catching and shooting from wherever he's at here. It doesn't matter. You just got to free him up. Got to shoot it.
Didn't know. Idea. He came in the game and didn't know. I mean, how does that happen?
First of all, you've got to communicate right away and say, hey, guys, realize we're taking the ball out of bounds. There's 2 seconds on the clock.
Well, what happens when you do that? You go right out of the game, and you get an earful from Randy Bennett.
Steve Lavin used to call those the honkers, you know. Honk. He goes, honk. Get out, sit down. You're not ready to play, you get a honker.
Problem with those in a gym like this, Petrusev got knocked down and the ball goes out of bounds. Sometimes you can't hear the honk. Crowd's too loud.
Yeah, but you know the honk.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to hear the honk to know the honk. You just look over and you go, he's probably coming in for me.
Final minute of a very entertaining first half.
Thank you. I think we've done a great job.
You
talk about the guys.
You too.
I need affirmation from you, Dave.
Ford had the ball go right through his hands. That's an over and back turnover.
So you have a shot clock violation, and then you let the ball go and just go right through your hands and have a backcourt violation in back-to-back possessions in what is a tie game. St. Mary's has played really well in this first half, but those are 2 possessions. You at least have to have a shot attempt on the iron.
So quick timeout for Gonzaga, 39.4 seconds, tie game in Spokane. Back right after this.
Okay, I have to say something. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day, not just on airline purchases. Just think about the miles you can earn on things like gifts.
Should I continue?
No, I want to hear this. Or a rental tux with a handsome cummerbund. Double miles on all of it.
Holy matrimony! That's a lot of miles. Anyone else speak now?
One more thing. What's in your wallet?
Well, how much better has St. Mary's played in this first half than they did in the first half of the first meeting between these two teams? The answer, a lot better.
Well, the biggest one isn't even their point production. I mean, 28-34, okay, fine. Field goal percentage, whatever. It's the defense. They gave up 53 points on their home floor and allowed Gonzaga to shoot 74%. Mark Few told us today, he goes, listen, my guys need to come out and they need to understand that we're not making the first 14 out of 15 shots that we attempt. That's an aberration. And that St. Mary's is going to make the adjustments necessary to make this a competitive game, and they have certainly done that.
St. Mary's didn't play well in that February 8th meeting. You and I were there. They didn't play well, but I would argue that maybe Gonzaga played better than any team has played in any game all year. They were just almost perfect in that game.
Especially the first 20 minutes.
They were
you and I
awesome.
were sitting there like, well, how do we continue to describe all of these shots that are going down? I mean, it was an impressive performance down there. This game, equally impressive right now to come on the road and play this way. You look at those first half numbers, the 74% from the field, the assist margin, the rebound, and they overwhelming. That has not been the case here tonight.
And for most of the year, Mark Few's team has been a much better second half team than first half team.
Well, we saw that in both the San Francisco games.
They trailed at halftime to USF both times. All right, so out of the timeout, Gonzaga ball. There's a 9.4 second difference. So this, unless there's an offensive rebound, this is not necessarily a last shot situation. Randy Bennett asking Michael Reed about taking a timeout. I don't know what Mike Reed just said to give Randy that face.
You got to help. You got to bring the double. Otherwise, it's going to be two.
Yep, Petrusev went right by, missed the shot, and they're going to call an offensive foul, a hooking foul.
Gonzaga foul on number 3, Philip Petrusev, his second.
I mean, I think he did kind of hook him a little bit.
He definitely hooked him. Watch him reach out, grab the shorts.
Okay,
That's a good call.
Yeah, that's his second personal.
Now, Vern Harris doesn't miss a lot of calls.
No, one of the very best officials
I think
in
he's
the
done
country.
9 Final Fours.
So now St. Mary's can hold for the final shot. Logan Johnson trying to come in the game, and he did enter the game.
St. Mary's going to have a chance to take a lead to the break here in Spokane.
Ford against one of the best point guard defenders in college basketball, Ryan Woolridge. Final 7 seconds. Now the switch. Final 2 seconds. It'll be Johnson for 3, no good.
That was great defense between Woolridge and Gilder. Both of them really can dial it in and that in the floor. They kept Ford away, forced him to give it up instead of taking that last shot.
Feels fitting that it's tied at halftime between two real good teams in the WCC. After the break, Allison Williams, John Crispin, Chris Patol in studio for the E-Trade Halftime Report. Welcome back to the Road to Champ Week presented by Wendy's, featuring this Saturday showcase presented by 5-Hour Energy. We get ready to start the second half on senior night in Spokane. Number 3 Gonzaga against their rivals in the WCC, tied with St. Mary's 34-34. Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham, back with you here inside the kennel. We knew the first game was an aberration. We got a super competitive first half here tonight.
And I think the points of emphasis for both teams are kind of playing out. We know Gonzaga wants to score on the point, but St. Mary's ability to get downhill and find ways to attack Gonzaga's defense deep inside the paint, a big difference maker in why this game is tied at the half. They were able to turn the corner. 22 of the 34 points have come in the paint, whether it's been in transition or the half court, utilizing screeners and rolls. Jordan Ford has been ultra aggressive, and the Gonzaga Bulldogs, well, they've done the exact same thing. I mentioned the 22 points in the paint for St. Mary's. That's exactly how many Gonzaga has, and they've done it very similar fashion. Moving without the ball, it's not all about the post-ups with the back to the basket, but they were able to hit the high-low a couple of times in particular early in the first half.
You look at the difference between February 8th and tonight, just 3 weeks later. Gonzaga's offense in that first half in Moraga, 53 points. They shot 74%. Mark Few told us today that will not happen again, and it didn't.
Yeah. And this is the time where the Gonzaga Bulldogs usually turned up, though. And this, remember, they were down at the half on this court to USF. They came out in the second half and went on a good burst. And the burst ability of Gonzaga is something that St. Mary's is well aware of. Everybody who plays them is well aware of. They can go on a 20-2 run real quick, and the next thing you know, especially in this building, you're looking up going, we just lost the game. The first 4 minutes are going to be really key for St. Mary's.
Gonzaga has the ball first. Kispert kind of out of control. No whistle and a rebound for the Gales. Malik Fitz.
He should have attacked.
Against Tilly. Now he will attack. Switch to the left hand and got the roll.
I thought he should have attacked early. Tilly's got a couple of fouls on him. If you can grab a third foul early in transition.
It's a good point. Several players have foul trouble, at least relatively speaking, as we start the second half. Over the top, high-low, well defended by Fotu. That's a Gonzaga turnover. That's a play that just destroyed the Gales in the first matchup. They've been better prepared for it tonight. Oh, backdoor cut from Ford. What a nice runner.
Woolridge was watching the ball and lost track of where Jordan Ford was.
Great start for St. Mary's. First minute, they get the first 4 points. Kispert from way outside.
He can do that.
0-2 traveled.
Really good defense, in particular on the Krebs curl and cut. The help side was there, and although he looked like he was open when he came off the screen, because of how much they're cheating and over-helping right now, the lane was clogged.
This time high-low, Petrusev to Tilly, and he finishes.
That's all day. If you're a Gonzaga fan, what you're saying is, hey, we can get that every possession. We should try to get that every possession.
Here goes Ford all the way to the basket.
Too easy. Great move. I mean, he got everybody in the defense leaning in one direction, and it created a seam and a gap for him to just drive and attack. That's a straight line drive.
Here's Gilder from the key. Petrusev, offensive rebound, bullies his way there with a foul.
Does a great job putting himself in position. Strong, able to finish through the contact and get an opportunity to go to the free throw line.
He drew 5 fouls himself in the first half against the Gales defenders. He's already drawn one now in the early minutes of the second half.
Most valuable piece on the floor. This is what that does. It also now hand checks on the outside. You're shooting free throws. And it might not be the best free throw shooting team, but you're just manufacturing points. You're lessening the level of aggressiveness that the opponent is playing with.
Here's Ford. What a little pass fake, but he missed the shot. Loose ball, and Gilder will grab it for the Zags. Petrusev got down there, committed the offensive foul.
And that's going to bring Drew Timme into the game. So he takes that dribble down, yeah. I mean, that's called all season long. That's not a new call. That's not a... I've never seen that before. If you watched a half a dozen games today, you saw that at least a half a dozen times.
There was zero argument from Mark Few.
He just looked down the bench. Said, Timme, let's go.
Fotu against Timmy. Gets the bucket.
A little bit smaller in size, but that allows Fotu to feel a little bit more confident in playing with his back to the basket and being aggressive.
He's had a pretty good year for St. Mary's. Now a whistle away from the ball.
That's going to be on Malik Fitz.
St. Mary's foul on Malik Fitz, his first personal, second team foul.
That's just his first. He's had a hard time, Malik Fitz, at times during the regular season, staying out of foul trouble.
We go back to that BYU game at BYU. You were on the call of that game.
Huge factor late in a very close game. Kispert, three. Another one.
How do you lose Corey Kispert on an out of bounds underneath? Well, you don't communicate, and so therefore you're not in the right position, and you give up a wide open three.
Kuzi got cut off baseline. Shot clock at 6.
Look at the defense. Gilder is just following forward wherever he's going. Essentially what they're saying is, you will not beat us.
That's a shot clock violation. Kuzi got to the rim and then didn't hit the rim.
They're playing no help off of Ford, and they're trailing him wherever he is.
Seems like a pretty good strategy against one of the very best in this conference. Speaking of one of the all-time greats, Hank Gathers. It was 30 years ago that he tragically passed away. He was honored today, and we'll show you some scenes from LMU after this.
For every point the Bulldogs scored this season, we're going.
California, and today on the campus of Loyola Marymount, they honored one of the all-time greats, Paul Westhead, the architect of those LMU teams, and so many members of those special LMU teams from the Hank Gathers era, as Hank was honored with a beautiful statue outside of the basketball arena that will forever memorialize one of the greatest players in the history of the West Coast Conference, in the history of college basketball. It was 30 years ago that Hank tragically collapsed and died on a basketball court, and I was glad that LMU did what they did today.
Yeah, and really he's a big part of my love for the game of basketball, and college basketball in particular. First college basketball game I ever went to was at St. Mary's, and the final score I think was 131-110 in regulation, and it was just a couple of weeks before Hank Gathers passed away. It was like watching the most athletic ballet I've ever seen in my life. It was fantastic.
What a great memory. What a great way to fall in love with this sport. Biggest lead of the night for either side. This has been a closely played game all the way. Zags up 5.
Well, it's been Corey Kispert again in the second half, making a lot of those big plays. 2 3-pointers and that back cut right there.
Good defense by Tilly. Forced Fitz to give it up. Shot clock winding down. Malik Fitz. Blocked by Tilly. And now the Zags want to run. Kispert.
Actually shocked he didn't take the shot.
Me too. Woolridge runner. And St. Mary's with the rebound, and Kuzi got knocked to the ground.
Well, and that's on Timmy. That's his 3rd foul. You talk about needless fouls and where you're picking them up. That was a needless one for Drew Timmy. Defensively, this is what we've seen from Gonzaga. When they go to the locker room and they're tired or they're down, and all of a sudden they come in and they tighten up the bolts of the defense. I think because they're so good offensively that they're like, hey, most nights our offense is going to be able to carry the load. This can be a really good defensive team, especially when you look at Woolridge and Gilder on the outside, being able to be disruptive at the point of attack with the opposing guards.
And you mentioned how they're guarding Jordan Ford right now.
Watch when he gets the ball up. Admon Gilder's going everywhere he is. He didn't care where the ball is. He's not even looking at the ball. He's just watching Jordan Ford. Good show by Tilly.
St. Mary's badly needs this guy. That went off a foot. So, well, they're calling it over and back. I think Randy McCall signaled that it hit. Michael Reed says no, it went off of St. Mary's foot.
And Randy Bennett's about 8 feet onto the floor.
So that is a turnover.
And Randy's asking what's going on. Randy Bennett's upset because he also knows how pivotal these minutes are right now. Zags are on a little bit of a run. They're being disruptive at the defensive end of the floor. You got to be able to try to withstand this and then get yourself reestablished.
Danger time for St. Mary's. Woolridge cut off, but scored anyway. Krebs missed the three.
The adjustment made by Mark Few is taking Jordan Ford out of the offense for the Gales. And until somebody else steps up, they're going to stay with this defense. And you're going to see the Zags go on a run.
Nobody else has stepped up in these last few minutes for St. Mary's.
To start that second half, it was Ford going to the basket a couple of times. And everything looked like, hey, man, this is smooth. It's looking easy. And Mark Few said, enough of that. Said, Admont Gilder, you're a senior. This is your senior night. Take him out of the game. And that's what they've done so far.
Kisper three. Got it! Timeout, St. Mary's. This is what Gonzaga does.
With the savings rates offered at some banks, your money almost seems like it's frozen. But not here. With Capital One, you can open a new savings account in about 5 minutes and earn 5 times the national average. Open one from here or here in a Capital One cafe. Plus, there are no fees or minimums on savings or checking accounts because that's how it should be. This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's. Try a Big Bacon Classic today. The Bulldog outside the kennel here in Spokane. The final true home game of the year for the Zags. Gonzaga is very much hoping that their first 2 NCAA tournament games will be played just across town at the Spokane Arena, a site in the early rounds. 10-point lead for the Zags. Corey Kispert leading the run.
Yeah, a 10-0 run for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. 3 for 3 here in the second half. Watch this though, good screen. No show, and you go underneath. If you're going to get caught and Krebs is going to go underneath, you've got to extend out as the defensive player on the screener to contest that shot. Too much space, and Corey Kispert has been sensational tonight.
Super efficient. He missed his first 2 shots from the field. He's made 7 of his last 8. 4 of those have been threes. He's played good defense.
On that screen, you've got to be calling out whether or not you're trailing, which means you're going over the top of the screen or you're going under. It's either trail or under. And you need to say it early, loud, and often, especially in an environment like this. If you're not communicating at a high level, what's going to end up happening is your teammate's not going to hear you. You're going to be disconnected, and because of that, you're going to give up good looks.
Fotu makes the first free throw. Special NBA Sunday tomorrow from New Orleans. We get LeBron and Zion going head-to-head again. Yeah, part 2. 8 Eastern on Sunday evening on ESPN. It'll stream live on the app.
The talent of under 21-year-old players in the NBA, sensational. Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, Zion Williamson, John Morant, Trae Young, just a couple to come to mind. Luka, by the way, he just turned 21, had himself a little fun time down in Miami, it looked like. The little videos on the gram.
Well, I would celebrate too if I were he, turning 21. Killian Tilly, older than those guys. He's been around here for a long time, playing his final regular season game with the Zags, and they're calling a foul against Gonzaga. Yeah, this week they asked you on Get Up how you would rate those under 21 stars in the NBA. You had Luka number 1.
I did. He has no holes in his game. Zion still has holes in his game. I mean, he doesn't want to go right at all. But Zion's got the right mindset, and he's handled himself extremely well. His numbers he's putting up right now haven't been seen by a rookie since, what, Michael Jordan, I think, his number of 25-plus point games and the field goal percentage being as high.
Malik Fitz has just been nowhere in this game offensively. Missed the 3. Here goes Gilder to the bucket. Gilder, a lot of contact. Fotu hustled back and got the defensive rebound. Maybe Ford can get something in transition. No.
I think you got to force it a little bit there if you're Jordan Ford.
Guy who's played more minutes than any player in college basketball, Jordan Ford. He's played every minute of this game. Fotu got fouled again. So that'll take us to a timeout. St. Mary's trying to withstand the run and hang around in this game against number 3 Gonzaga. 11:52 to go from Spokane, and the Zags lead 52-44.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that catches things that might look wrong and helps you fix them. Another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. What's in your wallet?
All right, Allison, thank you very much. 52-44 our score here. The resume for the Bruins, your Bruins.
Yeah, you know, exactly right. They've played their way into the discussion point, and yeah, they're leading the conference as of right now, but doesn't take away the loss to Hofstra and Cal State Fullerton, both on their home floor. And if you take those 2 games and you give it back to this team, I think they'd probably be in already. And for Mick Cronin, this is a statement as far as the buy-in factor that he's been able to get from the guys on this roster, where they fought some of their natural tendencies early. They've now completely bought in and understand what it takes to win. And that's why they have played so well. 7-1 in the month of February. 2 road wins against top 25 teams.
I do find it interesting. I mean, Lunardi's the expert, not me, but they're in the next 4 out, not the first 4 out. And 1 win at home over Arizona, and they vault into the field, according to Joe.
That's because the net ranking absolutely loves Arizona.
They get a lot of credit if they can win that game. Ryan Woolridge and the Zags up 52-46. St. Mary's trying to hang around this game. Killian Tilly, what a move.
So skilled. He can turn a face and knock that down. He obviously can play with his back to the basket, go to the half hook. They're playing on 4-on-4 in the half court right now because Jordan Ford is not a factor. That's an offensive foul.
For sure.
Offensive foul number 24, Malik Fitz, his second personal foul.
That could have been one, and that certainly was one.
Checking into the game, Bulldogs.
What a miserable game again for Fitz against Gonzaga.
He has struggled against Gonzaga. He has not had his best games against the Zags.
He's a good player.
I mean, we're talking about all the things Kispert's doing at the offensive end of the floor. I'm telling you right now, who could be the MVP of this game? It could be Admont Gilder. Since the first media timeout, Jordan Ford has not even attempted a shot in this game.
Khrushchev attacks. Back to a 10-point lead.
And you want to win a national championship, you got to be able to defend. And this second half, they've done an excellent job staying attached.
Ford finally found an opening.
And that's what he needs to do more of. He needs to force the issue.
You pointed it out on a transition opportunity where he sort of backed out. He's got to go. Petrusev blocked but fouled.
The difference was he was able, on this last possession, Jordan Ford was able to get downhill speed. And because he was able to bring the ball across half court, Admont Gilder a little bit on his heels. They tried to set a couple of on-ball screens to see if they could attack and move. But you mentioned Warrior minutes this year. It leads the entire country in minutes played.
Total minutes. I mean, St. Mary's had a 4 overtime game. They've had some goofy long games where he's played the whole way, but those minutes have piled up. He basically never comes out. He didn't come out in the first half. He hasn't sat on the bench one time in this game. And you do wonder at some point if that takes a toll.
Well, I asked Randy Bennett that question earlier today. He said, I got to try to sneak him 2 minutes here or there, whether it's like 30 seconds before a media timeout. But they haven't done that once tonight.
They have not. Second free throw coming. Petrusev, who's gotten better at the free throw line as the year has gone on. Puts the Zags back up by 10. St. Mary's will get that extra week before the NCAA tournament. That could be good news for them to get Jordan Ford refreshed without a game, assuming they're in.
Well, you got Petrusev on Jordan Ford. I mean, just space out and let him go.
Well, he gave it up, and that led to that. Good pass, Gilder. Down to Petrusev, who sort of lost it, got it back. Ayayi puts it in. Another timeout for the Gales.
That last possession, you've got Jordan Ford being guarded by a 7-footer. You've got to space the floor and allow him to try to flatten him back. Step into him like you're going to drive. He's going to back up and give up space. Then you step back and hit a three. Instead, he gives the ball up. Guzzi drives into traffic. And at the other end of the floor, it's the Zags getting deep in the paint and finding a way to score.
You know, Joel Ayayi has not played all that well lately, shooting the ball at least. He's got 7 rebounds in this game, leading Gonzaga. So there are different ways you can help. You pointed out Gilder hasn't been a big scorer in this game. He's got 2 points. Might be the MVP with his defense against Jordan Ford. That's what the Zags do. They have 6 players averaging double figures. They have a 7th almost there in Drew Timme. And those are the 7 that play minutes for Mark Few.
Yeah. And look at the efficiency numbers of all of those guys with the exception of Woolridge. You're talking 7 of 10, 4 of 8, 6 of 8. That's why Gonzaga has the most efficient offense in college basketball. The WCC has 3 of the top 4. BYU's at 3, St. Mary's is at 4.
Good defense from Gilder. Ford against everybody, scores with a foul. And then takes a hit from one of the officials. That's the last thing he needed.
I like what Randy Bennett has done in trying to move and get Jordan Ford the ball multiple times, changing directions. I mean, he has to get back into scoring ways for them to get back into this game.
When he has shot the ball in the second half, he's been great. He's made 4 or 5 shots since halftime. He's got 21 for the game. They need more shots from him.
Look high low, give it to him.
Petrusev with a foul.
When a big is standing in the middle of the paint and you can see both of his palms of his hands, that's the golden ticket to throw the ball. Because he's got his defensive player with his back to the basket. He's going to be able to catch, and he can turn over either shoulder.
That's the 8th foul that he has drawn personally in this game. Well, you talked about the many different reasons why that's such a valuable skill. He has piled up so many fouls against Gonzaga opponents all year.
And he continues to dominate. He's now at 20.
Ford, 3, no good. Well, they want to get it to him again. Why not? Contested, didn't matter. He's taken over this game.
And he just yelled, "Keep giving me the ball," as he came back down the floor. I think that's a heck of a plan. He might be a coach one day.
Krebs, big 3. St. Mary's needed it.
I would recommend throwing the ball to number 3.
That time, Fotu got a hand on it and knocked it away. They were trying to. Kuzi just had nowhere to go with the ball. Hustle play by Krebs, though, and I think that went off of Woolridge. It did.
Petrusev has been unbelievable in this game, establishing his presence, being strong, good soft touch around the basket. He's feeling it, and the Zags are in control.
Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham back here in Spokane, where Gonzaga has a 65-54 lead over St. Mary's. Gonzaga's already clinched the West Coast Conference regular season championship, 3rd-ranked team in the country. Sean put together his postseason WCC awards. What do you got?
Filip Petrusev is going to be the conference player of the year. He's the best player on the best team, and he has dominated this conference underneath. I go co-coach of the year. I think Mark Pope getting BYU ranked for the first time in 9 years. And then what Damon Stoudemire has been able to do at Pacific, 22 wins already this season. They're going against USD right now as we're talking. Jake Toulson, can you be newcomer of the year if you played in the conference and left and then came back?
I don't know. I don't know either.
But he's got to be in consideration for it, and Ryan Woolridge would get that honor, but I also think he deserves Defensive Player of the Year award. He's been phenomenal.
And in this league, he has to match up with Hawes, with Ford. There are a lot of good point guards. And he's just been terrific. Here's a 3, and that one goes down. That's Zorix, who started to give St. Mary's a little offense off the bench, playing more minutes the last couple weeks.
And that was good. Again, out of timeout execution, good ball reversal, forcing the defense to have to shift and move. Remember the first half I said it was St. Mary's that was dictating defensively what Gonzaga was doing? In the second half, it's been more about the Zags defense dictating and taking away options for St. Mary's.
That was a good-looking 3 answer from Ayayi. Fitz goes back door and lays it in.
Back-to-back possessions, though, they've had 2 breakdowns. If you think an 11-point lead is safe, St. Mary's can execute. Put themselves right back in the discussion.
Petrusev.
That's over.
Wow. They have nothing for him down low.
Not many teams do. I mean, just, first of all, great entry pass. But look at how deep he is. He's got 2 feet in the paint. You can play straight behind him. You're just inviting them to keep continually throwing the ball down to him.
He caps off another 3-point play.
He's going to have over 30 tonight. I mean, he's only 5 points away, so I'm not going out on a limb that much. But, I mean, you've got to keep feeding him the ball every possession right now.
Why wouldn't he touch it every single time down the floor? St. Mary's cannot stop him.
And backing off of Jordan Ford, they're allowing him to catch the ball right now.
He went right by the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, Woolridge was gapping and giving space. Admont Gilder on the bench. And Woolridge just got to tighten that up.
Kind of emphasizes how good Gilder's been defensively. Woolridge on this end with the answer. Okay, you give one up, I'll get it back.
see if Woolridge defends better on this possession. He's still allowing him to catch too easily, and he's going under all the screens.
Good vision by Ford. Zorix wasn't ready to shoot. Now he will shoot.
If you weren't going to shoot the first one, you should have shot the second one.
Totally agree. Kispert, tough shot. Rebound Gales. Maybe Ford in transition. He turned on the Jets. My goodness.
That's the difference between, remember that possession I said he needs to force the issue a little bit and attack in transition even though numbers are back. His speed going downhill versus a defensive player backpedaling, that's not a contest. Watch this, just split the seam. There are all 5 white jerseys there. There's nobody else in a blue jersey around, but Jordan Ford is that quick.
You know, and I'm not arguing with you. Petrusev has been a great player on the league's best team, but there's a pretty good case for Jordan Ford as player of the year in this league too. The attention he draws every single time out, the pressure on him to score every game. He's got another 25 here tonight for the Gales. Well, Big Monday, final one of the regular season comes up this Monday. First in the ACC, NC State and Duke. Duke coming off that loss in Charlottesville. NC State could use a win at Cameron Indoor. That's at 7 Eastern. And then following that in the Big 12, 2 teams trying to bounce back from losses today. Texas Tech in Waco to take on the Baylor Bears at 9 Eastern on ESPN, streaming live on the ESPN app.
Now, Texas Tech lost 2 games this week. They lost to Oklahoma and then they lost to Texas today. Important to try to get back on track because about a month ago you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, man, Texas Tech, they're kind of looking like Texas Tech did last year. Now I don't think you're feeling quite the same after this past week.
Last 4 in, first 4 out. NC State among those teams.
USC big win today. They sweep the Arizona schools in LA. That was huge for USC and Andy Enfield. You mentioned NC State, the big game coming up on Monday. I think the other team on this list is Richmond. And not a lot of people talk about Richmond. They got 3 guards that can go. And then Grant Golden underneath has got great size. And I watched them earlier this year knock off Wisconsin in the Barclays Center. Got some good wins out of conference that I think will pay off. I think they might be a little bit higher up than where Joe has them.
Woolridge missed the shot. Fotu rebound. Here comes St. Mary's. Game's not over yet. Still 5 minutes to go. Ford crossover 3. Good!
Wow, he's going again. That's what he should have done to Petrusev when he had him guarding him. The little rock back and forth, force the defensive body, the weight of the defensive player to shift.
Woolridge lost the ball. Malik Fitz, meanwhile, kind of out of control, but somehow found a way to finger roll it in. And Mark Few wants a timeout. The Gales have gone on a run to cut the lead down to 5.
The two knowns. On the scouting report, there's 2 knowns. One is Jordan Ford. Watch him get Kispert on skates here a little bit. That little hesitation and then the quick crossover creates a gap in space to open that shot up. And then this one, almost completely out of control. But it goes, and that's all that matters. And for Malik Fitz, it's been a struggle all night. He's got 8 points, but it has not been easy.
Well, the 7-0 run for St. Mary's has this a game once again. And Jordan Ford has come to life in these last few minutes, right when you said he's got to take over.
Yeah, 28 points. And when you watch this is the new age of point guard play, right? You got to be really tight with the handles. You got to be changing directions. This isn't just about burst ability, in which he has a great first step and can really accelerate in the open floor. But it's change of pace, change of direction, and when you have that to your game, all of a sudden the game becomes a lot easier. The quality of shot you take is a little bit better, which means your field goal percentage is a lot higher.
He grew up in Northern California, Sacramento area kid, watching Steph Curry play for the Warriors. I'm not saying he's Steph Curry. He's not Steph Curry, but you can see the influences on his game when you watch him play.
The Warriors changed the way basketball is being played, right?
They did. They did.
They really did. And we probably don't give them enough credit, the Splash Brothers and Steph. Like when we were growing up, we talked about Jordan, right? We all wanted to dunk and be like MJ and Dominique Wilkins and Charles Barkley, and it was about power basketball. He changed the complete identity and makeup for a lot of kids of what an NBA star looks like. He was frail, he was small, it didn't matter. Steph's been that special.
Petrusev had it poked away. Ford couldn't quite save it inbounds. 10 on the shot clock for Gonzaga. Such a difference between the first meeting just 3 weeks ago in Moraga, where Gonzaga blew St. Mary's out. Ayayi goes to the basket, got cut off. Shot clock winding down. Gilder got rid of it and scored.
And then gets back in defensive transition and cuts off Jordan Ford.
Fitz wide open and bricked it. You're right, that was a great hustle play by Gilder. Otherwise it would have been Ford. Now Fitz, lazy pass, and he'll dunk it home. Wow, terrible pass. That leads to 2 for the Gales.
I would get the ball to number 3 in white. It's been a couple of possessions. Now, Fotu's doing some good job working, but I don't want Petrusev out here. I want him on the block.
He's going to go down low now. Gilder off the glass. Second straight basket for him. Fitz, what a move.
He might be the best one-on-one player in the half court. I mean, because his size and how he can attack off the wing makes him uniquely different than Jordan Ford.
Under 3 to play. 5-point game. Gilder 3. No. Rebound Fitz. When it's anybody but Gilder on Jordan Ford, I think his eyes light up a little bit. Missed that shot, though. And the Zags are going to walk it up.
What a battle between these two teams tonight.
Great game. Ayayi 3. Good! Great defense, Petrusev.
It's loud in here, partner.
Whoa. It was loud in Provo last weekend. It is always loud here. What a year for the West Coast Conference.
There are 3 NCAA tournament teams in this conference. You're seeing 2 of them right now.
Fitz tried for the steal. Tilly keeps it alive. Kispert. Jumper, no. Petrusev, yes! This one basically has to go down, and it didn't. Fitz, though, got his own miss, and might have been fouled. He was shooting at 3. That's a rare mistake from Gilder. So St. Mary's may be a sliver of hope at the free throw line when we come back to Spokane. 82-72, Zags lead.
B11.
Is that
Steve Harvey?
Give me B11.
Isn't bingo just an okay use of your hosting abilities?
It's like getting the Samsung Galaxy S25G and not getting it with AT&T.
Bingo!
No, I only call out 2 letters. Now, you might have go, you could have B, but you can't have bingo.
Get the most from your revolutionary Samsung Galaxy S25G. Switch now and get one free from AT&T, building 5G on America's best network.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5 Hour Energy Shots, now in 2 great tropical flavors. The final seconds of the regular season in the West Coast Conference.
And you and I are going to be in Vegas.
We will be. And that will be a terrific tournament. This league is deeper than it has been in a long time.
San Francisco, we mentioned Pacific. There's a lot of good basketball teams. Santa Clara, we saw how hard they played St. Mary's the other night. St. Mary's might face Santa Clara potentially in their first game on Saturday night. The one will be on the call.
And the Gales would not be rooting for that because you're right. Santa Clara beat St. Mary's once and played them right down to the buzzer the second time.
It's why this conversation, it's a tired conversation. You and I were mentioning it. This national narrative that gets said about the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Dumb.
They haven't, they've been in the WCC, so how are they going to be tournament ready? Dave, how many teams have played in 5 consecutive Sweet 16s in college basketball?
That would be one team.
Who is that team?
And that team is Gonzaga.
Oh, wow.
I think they've been tournament ready.
You think?
I think the West Coast Conference has gotten them plenty ready for the tournament.
I mean, look, it is such it's a lazy, to be honest, it's just a lazy statement.
Because it's not true.
It's not true, and the numbers don't lie. They're the only team to get to the Sweet 16 in each of the last 5 seasons.
They haven't lost in the first round in years and years and years. They're the most consistent first-round team going.
And you couple that with this year in particular, with what Mark Pope has been able to accomplish at BYU, and I think truly if Yoli Childs doesn't have that injured hand.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know where you're going.
I mean, this could be a tie-break situation to try to figure out who would win this conference because of how well they've played down the stretch. Yoli Childs, as we mentioned in the first half, 38-14 on the road
today. Wow. We saw him dominate these Zags in Provo last weekend. Petrusev comes out of the game.
Vegas is going to be great.
1-and-1 free throws for Joel Ayayi, who's really played well. Well, coming up after Arizona UCLA over on ESPN. Scoring duel, Rockets Celtics, good game. Kansas State, first matchup since that ugly brawl in Lawrence. NFL Combine news.
Yeah, those defensive linemen, they're running. Can't wait for that.
I will be waiting for the breakdown. Jordan Ford.
Hey, in case anybody wants to know,
yeah,
I'll be enjoying my spicy shrimp flatbread while I watch guys run the 40 on SportsCenter.
What a combo. The fans here starting the celebration. Many of these fans will be in Las Vegas. Gonzaga brings Fords. BYU's going to bring a ton of fans.
We'll be there.
And you and I will be there.
I just keep reminding everybody, you and I will be there, partner. Can't wait. Hey, you know what? You and I started 10 years ago at ESPN. You and I, our first game that we called together at ESPN was in this building against Kawhi Leonard in a game that the Aztecs really made their announcement that they were going to play on the national level. And it's been a couple years since you and I have been back in this building, and it's always a special place to get to call a game with you in this building, given it was our starting point at ESPN.
And think about the WCC games that you and I have had this year, how competitive, and taking away the one matchup between these two in Moraga. And I expect nothing different in the conference tournament. Jordan Ford.
Great defense by Admon Gilder again. Jordan Ford, I hope they have a cryotherapy place that he gets to go to and ice down after every game.
Krebs, in and out, ball on the floor. They're going to call a foul with 4 seconds to go. So the 3 seniors, Gilder and Woolridge, both of whom grad transferred here their only year at Gonzaga, but have been such huge parts of this team, and Killian Tilly, who played in the national championship game for the Zags against North Carolina all those years ago.
When you think about Admon Gilder, his tournament experience, he's a guy that played in the Sweet 16 at Texas A&M. And Tilly saying goodbye to the home court.
Beloved here. Will always be one of the all-time favorites. And the other 2 seniors will get their ovations too. Sort of fitting that Jordan Ford's not coming off the court. Why not play all 40?
I don't think the extra 4 seconds would matter that much.
I don't
right
either.
now.
I don't either.
What a night. Great game, really was. St. Mary's fought, and they tried to compete and hang in there. Defensively, Gonzaga figured it out in the second half, and they were ready to go. Admon Gilder deserves a lot of credit for the defense and taking Jordan Ford out of rhythm. Vegas is going to be fantastic.
It never, ever gets old watching these two teams go head-to-head. The Gales were game tonight, but the Zags were just too good. 86-76, that's the final score on senior night for Sean Farnham. Dave Fleming saying so long from Spokane. Coming up next, College Basketball Live.